warm welcome to How to Find God, a program brought to you by Ekanka, the path of spiritual freedom. My name is Vincent Ochoma, your host. This week, our topic is, how do we know when God speaks to us? A very interesting topic because quite often we speak to God, giving God so much long a list of what to do for us. But how do we now hear God? That is the big question. This week, I have with me in the studio two gentlemen, members of Ekanka, who will do real justice to this topic. I have on my right, Awo Udo Awo. Awo, you are very much welcome to How to Find God.
Thank you very much, Moderator.
And on my left, I have Enajite Orode. You are also welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And I must say that both of them, Awo and Enajite, are members of the Ekanka clergy. Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Singing hymn can help us.
Singing hymn can help you. Hello.
Singing hymn can heal a broken heart.
Singing hymn offers solace during times of grief.
Singing hymn can help bring peace and calm.
Quite a number of people believe that it is only the Holy. I think I have to start with you.
Okay. You see, we are all children of God. And being children of God, God speaks to all of us. So God speaking to mankind is not restricted to a category of people. God is always talking, but the question is, do we hear God speak? Do we understand what God says? Do we act on what God tells us? You know, God talking is similar, can be likened. But if your radio is off, you won't be hearing anything. If you put on your radio and put it on low volume, you'll be hearing very little. But when you increase the volume, you hear clearly. The broadcaster is always broadcasting. It's you that regulates the volume of hearing or talks to everybody.
That's interesting. Awo, is it only God that talks to man?
God that speaks to man. But in the first place, let me tell you, God is not a human being. And nobody can claim to. And so it is available to everybody to hear the voice of God. Again, it depends on our circumstances and situation. The privilege to know and master.
For instance, when someone is laughing, no matter the language of the other person, you know the person is laughing. So you want to ask, what language is laughter? So that is similar to the question we are looking at. Because you see, when God speaks, we perceive. We don't analyze, we perceive. We don't analyze with our mind. When you perceive, you just have an understanding of what. Now, I'll give you a taste. Because God speaks to us through dreams, through daily living and all that. Now, there was a lady in one of the Ekanka centers in Delta State. She was an illiterate. One day, she came to the center when we were doing our worship and came to sing in the Kwane language. And she told her story to her in her dream and taught her the song in the Kwane language. So you see, any language we have, any understanding we have is given by God. So once God speaks, you pick it in the language you understand. So God can speak, and everybody in different languages will understand that language, what the message, because the source is not tied to a particular language. It's just love.
You are watching How to Find God, and my guests in the studio have been speaking on the topic, how do you know when God speaks to us? And Ajite was talking about the language of God, and in fact, trying to illustrate it with practical example. And so, Awo, have you had that kind of experience? Has God spoken to you? Can you share the experience with us?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, God is always talking. And when we recognize that we are souls, a spark of God, there is a relationship that exists between us and God. There was a time I had, and you know, at a point in your life, you don't take life for granted. So I had to speak with the living Ekmaster, the Mahanta. I said, what do you say about this trip? Am I to make this trip or give me a response?
Did you see him physically? How did you speak to
I
him?
spoke with him. God is the Mahanta, the living Ekmaster, is spirit. I spoke to spirit. I spoke to the Mahanta as spirit because he hears from anywhere. So I said, give me an insight into this trip. So being that this journey is for tomorrow, so I was watching out for signs from God because God will naturally speak to you. So the following morning, after taking my bath, I decided to just sit out in the veranda and look out. As I was watching over the fence, I discovered some lizards playing on the fence. All of a sudden, an agama lizard just came through and chased one other smaller lizard and grabbed that lizard and ate it up, swallowed it. I was so shocked. And when I look at this happening, I immediately understood God has spoken. In Ekanka, we call this a waking dream. So I knew this journey was